think less, think less, think less. I tell my mind, think right. So if I think right, think less happens automatically. Creating that one right thought, that is a decision. Actually, that's a decision, okay? And when we start decluttering our mind, you will see very soon most of your thoughts are just that one right thought. So you reach a stage finally where it's not a question of decision. It is that thought is only the decision. Yeah. That thought is only the decision, because there's no more extra noise and clutter around it, because you have started creating the right thoughts.
Where there are options, and then you overthink different situations, because you think by thinking more, you're applying greater level of input, logic, and then come to a, conclusion, and you sometimes get even more complicated. Very warm welcome to you, Sister Shivani, on this ThinkRight podcast, where we are actually going to use a part of the word from ThinkRight, which is think, but address an issue which we call overthinking. In today's day and age, we find people really overthinking everything, right? Sometimes it's a decision we have to make, which is a very small decision. Sometimes it could be a major decision, but we spend so much of our energy. And, there's a depletion of energy that happens as one, is spending on overthinking. I think people understand it's a problem, but it's just the way of life that has become. So when someone says that I am overthinking this, what should they be telling themselves instead of, actually doing it? Or are people conscious about it? How do they make themselves conscious that this is not really something that needs so much thought?
Quantity and quality of thought is connected. Mm-hmm. So at any point of time, if you find your mind thinking a lot, if you just detach and check what's the quality of the thought, you'll see it's not the right quality. Of course, people won't say this is not the right quality. This is only what I have to think about it. But it will just definitely have a negative undercurrent to it. It'll have some worry, some anxiety, some fear, which means a negative vibration to it. So the minute there's a negative vibration to my thought, it's going to be a lot of thoughts about it. And if you create one positive, powerful thought, all your waste thoughts will stop, and so your quantity has changed. So we cannot change the quantity of our thoughts. I cannot tell my mind, think less, think less, think less. I tell my mind, think right. So if I think right, think less happens automatically. But if I think wrong, which people will not call wrong, they'll say this is normal. It's normal to think like this. Yes, okay, we've called that as normal. But now, okay, think higher. So if you want to call that one normal. So for example, someone says something to me. One line they say, they walk off. I don't agree with that line, or I don't like that line. Now what will be overthinking? Why did they say this? Why every time, irrespective of whatever I do, this is how they behave. This never seems to stop. Why am I here? This is overthinking. Now people will say, what overthinking? This is right. This is normal thinking. But what is this normal thinking doing to me? One, I'm creating lower energy thoughts. Once I'm creating lower energy thoughts, there are too many thoughts. So I'm tiring my mind in both the ways. I'm depleting my energy in both the ways. That it's lower vibrational thought, so the mind is getting depleted. Too many thoughts, so the mind is getting depleted. So it's getting depleted because of both the ways. Now, if I just give it one powerful thought, they said what they said, this was their perspective or their sanskar, I will evaluate myself and see what I have to do, and I just send a blessing to that soul. Now what happens? All my other noise that was going on in the mind, it's just get over. It'll just get over. So it's not about how should I think less, it's about creating the right thought in every situation. So that's why the affirmative vocabulary helps us, because after a few months or a year of practice, affirmation is not 10 thoughts. Correct. Affirmation is not a bundle of my affirmations. You start that way, you start it as affirmations, but when you keep doing those affirmations regularly, it's about converting your normal thinking to affirmation. So what is affirmation? That don't think what is going on, create a thought that you want the reality to be, and then that becomes your affirmation. Now, so someone has said something to me, I'm only thinking of what happened. I'm not creating of what I want the reality to be. So when I go on thinking about what happened, why that person said what that said, I'm creating those vibrations. So I'm anyways going to manifest that more, because I'm creating of what that person did and how I don't like that person, how the person doesn't like me. the relationship is only going to get more and more complicated.
Next time the person will repeat something.
Absolutely,
like
because that's going to be a manifestation of my affirmations, but I don't say that time. I said, see, now they're doing even more of that. I don't realize my role in having sent them those affirmations. Now, in our set of 10 affirmations, we have one affirmation which says, I accept people, people accept me, all my relationships are very strong. Now, use that here. Use that here. It doesn't have to be only in that bundle of 10. It has to be used when a situation arises. So I will take the name of that person and I will say, this person accepts me, I accept them, and we have a beautiful relationship. My mind will say, no. I said, this person accepts me, I accept them, we have a beautiful. Keep saying it. Say it twice, say it thrice, say it 5 times, and you will start seeing that all the other noise around that will start going off. So those 10 thoughts or 20, whatever we've created, is just a sample. From that sample, I have to learn how to do it every time in every situation. And now I want to create a life where my normal thoughts are positive affirmations. Because unaware, my normal thoughts are negative affirmations. They just don't like me. We never get along. These are affirmations. We never get along. They never understand me. They are always like this to me. Now, we don't understand, these are very, very powerful negative affirmations. So, most of the time, I'm either creating a negative affirmation unaware. Now, I just need to pause and create a conscious positive affirmation with awareness. So, this is called living a life of awareness. And when I change that thought, the noise will stop because positive affirmations will be less, negative affirmations will be multiple. So, work on quality. Quantity will get taken care of.
Yeah, no, very interesting way to look at it. But still many people, when they have decisions to make, I mean, let's take someone's getting married, right? And you have option 1, option 2, option 3, and you have to make a decision, which is a critical decision, which is something that is important. You take a situation, you overthink. Of course, I'm giving a very important thing, but decision making where there are options, and then you overthink different situations because you think by thinking more, you're applying greater level of input, logic, and then come to a, conclusion, and you sometimes get even more complicated. So how do people who want to know that they're making the right decision approach decision making without overthinking?
First, you have to reduce your thinking to take the right decision. Because what is right decision making? Getting married, okay, we can say is one of those rare decisions, but start with the simpler situations of life. What is decision making? Creating that one right thought, that is a decision. Actually, that's a decision, okay? And when we start decluttering our mind, you will see very soon most of your thoughts are just that one right thought. So you reach a stage finally where it's not a question of decision. It is that thought is only the decision. That thought is only the decision, because there's no more extra noise and clutter around it because you have started creating the right thoughts. So you reach a stage where you can take a decision in 1 second because that thought is the decision. That's it. So when you start, that's all about that cleaning.
Correct.
So if there's so much clutter in this room and now I have to look for something, it's difficult. But if I've been cleaning it on a daily basis and I keep it very clean, then looking for something is very easy. It's right there. I can see it. That's the decision. It's right there because I've cleaned all the waste thoughts. So the right thought is already there. So actually, nowadays I realize that I'm not really taking decisions because that experience of taking a decision is not happening. So this is just a stages which we will keep experiencing, that the more you will not allow your mind to create waste, the easier it will be to create a decision. And that decision will come intuitively, it will come to you. Second, what is the priority of that decision making? Priority should not be about what will I get outside. Priority should always be how will this enhance soul power. So once that is the priority, again taking a decision is very easy. Very easy. How does this strengthen me on a karma level? Which means my karma should be right, long term this should be right, not just here benefit, no. If I think of those benefits, then there are a lot of options, but it could be like this. When I think of this, there are not too many options. There are not too many options. So it's very easy to take a decision. But then when I remember I'm a soul, then that becomes my criteria of decision making. I cannot create a decision based on any other criteria. When I know who I am, then I have to create a decision based on the well-being of I, not on the well-being of my. Even if you're taking a decision for your child, It should be based on the well-being of that I, not the well-being of my. Then decision making is very easy. Where should they study? Where should they go? Who should be their friends? What should they do? Everything will become very easy. Very easy, because you're saying well-being of the I. So decision making becomes very simple over there also. So waste thoughts automatically will start decluttering. So all that we need to do is meditate for a few minutes daily, and very important is to nourish your mind with spiritual content on a daily basis, because spirituality is giving you that vocabulary of how to think. Basically, our overthinking has increased since we have been consuming a lot of content. It's very simple. Because the more
even
content,
in the subconscious mind, you have a lot.
That noise. See, we're consuming noise. We are consuming so much noise. If I just go and watch 3 episodes of a series, how much noise I have consumed in my mind. I think it's entertainment, it's noise. I've just consumed so many thoughts, so many emotions I've consumed. Then I switch on to listening to the world news, again consuming noise. Then I come to social media, I consume noise. So why suddenly overthinking has increased? Overconsumption. So first restrict your overconsumption of content. That itself will sort out lot of things, because most of the content we are consuming is not the highest vibrational content. It's not designed that way. It will have ego, it will have greed, it will have violence, it will have crime, it will have war, it will have terror, it will have lust, it will have all the lowest energy. So when you're consuming content of the lowest energy, that means you're going to create thoughts of the lowest energy. And if you're creating thoughts of the lowest energy, the number is going to be high. So there's a direct connection between overconsumption of content to overthinking. So if I even take that one step, you're going to find your thoughts just slowing down. And then add at least 5-10 minutes of pure content. So that helps your mind to create pure thoughts. So giving the right diet will make it easier. So overthinking is only a low stamina. So if I can't climb 1 flight of steps without getting breathless, it's a wake-up call. Somewhere the stamina is not right. Just eat the right food, exercise. Tomorrow I'll climb 5 floors. Same here. If you're finding that noise is too much, change your diet, which means change your content, and meditate for a few minutes daily, and take your affirmations into practical life, not just your morning and night. Affirmations is not for that. That's just the beginning of the journey. Take those specific thoughts from there and gradually change your vocabulary into a positive affirmation, your normal conversational vocabulary. So then your normal thinking vocabulary will also, like we used to earlier say, which language do you think in? So in which language do my thoughts come? English, Hindi, or whatever. Now they should come in the positive affirmative vocabulary. That should be my language of thinking. That's why if we teach it to kids right from kindergarten, that will be their vocabulary of thinking. So overthinking is...
And I think when you think positive and you have positive thinking, I think the decision automatically comes, because you will take the most optimistic outcome, that you believe, and probably see that also get realized, and I think that is a self-fulfilling.
Absolutely.
No, I think it's a very interesting thing that, by elimination, you come to the better, purer thought rather than trying to overthink. So I think the advice to everyone is, think less, but through a practice, which is a daily practice. And if one can get into that little routine, over a period of time, one will see a lot change. And I think through the ThinkRight.me app, we ensure that we handhold, through a daily journey that enables you to make this, a daily habit, and really hope that the overthinking actually is something that you convert to right thinking, less thinking, and apply it
because one more
every
thought is
instance
like
of your life.
Overthinking in a normal situation. What will happen the day there is a problem? So that's that breakdown. So it's like if you're driving fast in a normal situation, what speed will you drive one day if you have to reach somewhere, So then that's the chances of meeting with an accident.
That's where the mental health issues and all of that
So you cannot be overthinking in normal day-to-day situation. At least keep it only for those rare ever. But if you think right, normal, then on those rare ones also you will be at that same speed. You will drive at that same speed in your mind.
You will always have the right thought come to you. So again, thank you so much for such a lovely conversation.
Thank you.
Join us on watching the ThinkRight podcast with the ever-radiant Sister BK Shivani as we discuss multiple angles, multiple things related to mindfulness, and this will be exclusively available on the ThinkRight.me app. Join us there.